Good evening. We begin with some breaking news out of West Texas tonight. Police say around 20 people have been shot in the nearby cities of Odessa and Midland by at least one, possibly two shooters. There are reports of at least one fatality. Odessa police say a suspect and a possible second suspect drove through the city randomly shooting at people. The shooters are still at large in a hijacked mail truck, according to Odessa police. Again, we are hearing there are multiple gunshot victims who are, at this time, random individuals. Police are encouraging everyone in the area to get off the road and use extreme caution. We will monitor the situation and bring you updates as we get them. Well, on to local news now. A funeral was held today for the woman killed in the boat crash involving TV personality Kevin O'Leary. The collision happened a week ago near Emerald Island in Seguin Township, a region about 215 kilometers north of downtown Toronto. Two people, including Brito, were killed in the crash. Our Kelda Yuen was at her funeral in Uxbridge today.
I'm outside Sacred Heart Roman Catholic Church here in Uxbridge. The church seats 350 people, but I was told there are about 500 mourners inside, overflowing into the lobby area. This is a very tight-knit community, and the family requested privacy. I did speak with one woman who said she is friends with Brito's mother. She said she watched Brito grow up into a beautiful person and that everyone called her by the name Susanna. She also told me that Brito is originally from Whitby and that she moved to Uxbridge after she got married. Many people gathered outside the church before the funeral, consoling and hugging one another before the casket was carried inside. Brito is survived by her parents, husband, and 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, aged 12, 11, and 9. She also had a brother and a sister. The family released a statement yesterday saying, "Our family wishes to express our gratitude for the outpouring of support we have received from police, first responders, the medical community, our friends, and the entire Uxbridge community following the tragic death of our wife, mother, daughter, and sister, Susanna Brito." Uxbridge Mayor Dave Barton had also said in a statement that Brito and her family were active members of this community. A 64-year-old Gary Poltash from Florida was also killed. Sources told CBC News that he was visiting his friend, Dr. Irv Edwards, and was on Edwards' wakeboard pleasure craft at the time of the crash. Brito was on that same boat. Kevin O'Leary was on a smaller ski boat when the two boats collided last Saturday around 11:30 at night. The crash happened near Emerald Island on Lake Joseph. That's about 215 kilometers north of Toronto. A week later, there are still many unanswered questions. O'Leary had said the other boat didn't have navigation lights on and had fled the scene. OPP did not comment on the navigation lights, but information they gave contradicted O'Leary's statement that the other boat had fled. The OPP Criminal Investigations Branch is now looking into this matter. They have not said whether speed or alcohol were factors, and no charges have been laid. Police say they are looking for anyone who has video from the area from around the time of the crash. Brito is being laid to rest at Sacred Heart Cemetery about 5 minutes from here. Her family has asked for donations in her memory to be made to the Canadian Mental Health Association. Kelda Yuen, CBC News, Uxbridge.
Police in Brampton are investigating after a man was shot dead early this morning. It happened shortly before 5 a.m. near the corner of Hale and Bramsteel Roads. Peel police say the man was shot several times. The 39-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators haven't released any suspect information. And a man remains in hospital with life-threatening injuries tonight after a shooting inside this Mississauga hotel. Police say it happened shortly after 2 a.m. Paramedics rushed the 28-year-old man to hospital where he underwent surgery. Investigators are looking for one man they describe as bald, 6 feet tall with a muscular build. Anyone with information is asked to call Peel Police. And Toronto Police's traffic reconstruction team spent last night investigating after a 35-year-old woman was killed in a hit and run in Scarborough. The collision happened around 10:30 p.m. on Shepherd Avenue East near Abbotsford Gate Lane. Paramedics found the woman without vital signs. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Not many details are known yet about the vehicle involved, other than it was white and possibly has front-end damage. The victim is the 21st pedestrian to be killed in Toronto this year. It is International Overdose Awareness Day, held each year to raise awareness and reduce the stigma of drug-related deaths. At City Hall, a ceremony was held where activists and families who were impacted gathered to show support and call on the government to step up their efforts to combat the crisis. CBC's Daniel Clark was there too.
This one here is an injectable kit. It comes with 2 syringes with safety caps on them, so I mean you can't even get poked accidentally.
Dave Gordon is on the front lines of Toronto's battle to save lives. For more than 5 years, he's done everything he can to get people naloxone in their moment of need.
This one here is our spray. This one here, you just stick it up the nose and spray it, but it's 4 times stronger.
Can someone overdose on naloxone?
No, it can't do anything to you. I could take this and spray it up my nose right now and it won't do anything to me.
The kits save lives that are lost every day to a crisis that is dragged on.
He said he had 9 lives because he actually did take it a few times.
Teresa Zaporozan lost her son Zach to an overdose last year.
You never get a straight answer how to get help for that child. They need to start looking at it like anything else. If your child had leukemia, you're going to be at that hospital, you're going to be fighting every day, making sure they get the right medicine. We remember his good ways, all the good things that he did, and the lives that he touched with his heart. My children, my niece and nephew, they all know people who have died from overdoses.
And the public and the different levels of government could do more.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and they might if it starts affecting them. You know, that's the sad part.
Oh, see, they took the clip right off this one.
Dave keeps restocking Moss Park with naloxone kits. He hung them on every tree yesterday. Now, they're all gone.
It's critical. It is critical. You know, when you find somebody lying here, no heartbeat, they're not breathing, it's a matter of seconds that, you know, the person's going to be brain dead.
Some claim city staff removed them when cleaning the park.
I mean, it's okay if somebody's taking them and using them, but there's no way this many of them got used last night.
According to the city, staff in the parks have been directed to leave the kits in place.
Shame on you. You know, this is saving lives, and you guys are throwing it in the garbage like it's nothing. So you might as well just be tossing these people's lives away too.
Daniel Clark, CBC News, Toronto.
The end of August marks a new beginning for hundreds of students across Toronto. Today was move-in day at George Brown College, and we had a chance to speak with some first-year students outside their new home.
I'm nervous, definitely nervous, yeah. It's gonna be a new experience because I've never been in like a big city before, so it'll definitely be different.
It's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's super exciting. You know, I come from South Africa, so all of the buildings, everything, it's all new land to me, but I'm excited to meet everyone in Res, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I thought I'd feel like an outsider, but you know, everyone here is so welcoming. I feel like I've lived here my whole life, eh?
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I think it's gonna be fine. I mean, I already met my roommate and she's really nice, and like I've talked to a few other people, so I think it's gonna be good.
I think she is gonna rock in this program. She's great with people, she's fun-loving, easygoing, and she's gonna fit in just fine.
Jenna Gallia is entering her first year in the hospitality management course, and you heard it here first. Mom says she's gonna rock it. Best of luck to all university students as they head back to class. Well, if you were downtown today, you might have seen, or more likely heard, the CNE Air Show along the waterfront. A spectacular performance by a mix of military, government, and civilian aircrafts. It's the 70th anniversary of the Air Show this year, and it is on again tomorrow and Labor Day Monday between noon and 3. Well, what a great day to be outside to look to the skies. Let's check in with meteorologist Kelly Sonnenberg for how the rest of the weekend's looking. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Maribel. Well, conditions today, 22 degrees in the city of Toronto, so it was perfect to head down to the water, the CNE, and check out the air show. This evening, if you're heading out the town, 18 degrees, variable skies. Temperatures were pretty close to seasonal. It's starting to feel a little bit more fresh, so through the overnight into the early morning hours as we head into Sunday, you will need a sweater or maybe a jacket, but then you will be able to shed that as you head through the afternoon. 22 degrees. Now, you can see a few icons that are showing the chance for showers. We are going to be looking at a boundary moving through the area, through southern Ontario. So you can see we do have a thunderstorm risk map for southern Ontario, including the GTA for Sunday afternoon, but it's not going to be a washout of a day. I want to show you our future radar. Into the evening and overnight hours, a very brief passing shower could be possible for the southern half of the GTA Golden Horseshoe, and then a little bit more numerous as we head through the afternoon and evening. So just check that future radar, check the forecast, because there are going to be chance for those showers and thunderstorms as we head through Sunday afternoon and evening. As we take a look at the next 7 days and as we wrap up the Labor Day long weekend, chance for some showers as we head into Monday. Coming up, we're going to have details on the forecast for Hurricane Dorian and for back to school.
All right. Thanks very much. We'll see you in a bit. Tennis star Bianca Andreescu looks unstoppable. The 19-year-old from Mississauga defeated former world #1 Caroline Wozniacki of Denmark at the U.S. Open today. She won in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, and now advances to the 4th round. She will face American Taylor Townsend on Monday. A Toronto-based mixed martial arts artist was set to represent Canada this fall at the International MMA Federation Championships in Bahrain. But whether he'll be allowed to go is up in the air. Dorian Dokai moved here from Albania last year. He's a permanent resident and is applying for his citizenship. But in the meantime, immigration officials advised the 22-year-old not to leave the country. We caught up with him at his Etobicoke gym.
My name is Dorian Dokai. I work on the day. I train all the time just to make the dream true. Fighting has started since I was a kid. It was my dream since I was 8 or 10 years old. I remember the first training has started around when I was 15 years old. Many problems happened in my country. If I would be able to stay alive or to follow the dream, it was the only chance. It was to leave the country. I came here a legal way. I came here like an immigrant, like a refugee, and now I'm going through the immigration process and all these things. They tell me that during the case that I've done, during the reason why I left there, it's better to stay here than doing something else. I did one fight here for the Canadian title. Thanks God, thanks to my team, thanks to my coaches. They did a really good job. They helped me a lot, and we won.
As an amateur MMA athlete, this is the highest honor you can achieve, in my opinion, to be able to go fight for the world championship. All the stuff that people don't want to do to get there, he did all that, and now it's like he's supposed to be able to reap the rewards now, and now he can't because of this kind of situation.
When this opportunity came to fight for Canadian title and the people who's going to win going to represent the country, and to be being honest, I was more motivated than ever. It was like, well, I'm going to go there, going to fight, going to win that belt. I'm going to try my best to go there to represent the Canada at the world tournament, and somehow to give back. Because this country saved my life, these people saved my life. I just want to follow the dream, I just want to fight, you know. I just want to go there to fight and come back safe.
Hurricane Dorian is currently a Category 4 storm and heading for the Bahamas, bringing 240-kilometer-an-hour winds and the potential for disaster. How the Bahamas and the U.S. are preparing. That's coming up a little later in our forecast. Plus, 4-time Emmy Award-winning actress Valerie Harper is dead after a battle with brain cancer. More on her life and legacy after the break. Hurricane Dorian is now a Category 4 storm heading first for the Bahamas and then in a few days somewhere along the southeast coast of the U.S. Right now it is packing winds of 240 kilometers an hour and it could get even stronger. The CBC's Carolyn Dunn is tracking Dorian and how the people in its path are preparing.
The Bahamas will be the first to feel the full brunt of Dorian. That means boarding up and hoping for the best.
To put it in perspective, I am 6'1". The surge I expected to be 2 to 3 times my height. What this would mean is that homes may potentially be completely submerged with water.
To make matters worse, Dorian is moving slowly and expected to hover.
Rain, winds, and the storm surge keeps piling it up. So anybody viewing us today from the Bahamas, listen to the local officials. I can't stress it enough. This is a very dangerous situation for the Bahamas.
The monster-sized storm is as wide as Ohio and unpredictable. Unexpectedly, it shifted east, and so when it passes the Bahamas, it's now forecast to hurtle towards Georgia and the Carolinas. But Florida still remains in its so-called cone of uncertainty.
There is still significant chance of a strike on the state of Florida. If you look at that cone, anyone inside that cone needs to be prepared.
So people are packing stores, loading up on water and supplies, watching and waiting.
It's all this not knowing where it's going to come, how bad it's going to hit.
Airports are bustling with people not waiting to find out, and some airlines are warning there will be flight cancellations.
We're going to be gone before it even thinks about hitting.
Cruise ships are changing course to get out of Dorian's path. So many people have heeded the warnings about the dangerous storm that some gas stations in Florida have already run out of fuel, as highways are filled with people getting a jump on the likely evacuation orders. Millions on the east coast of the U.S. bracing for a hurricane that continues to surprise. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Washington.
Protesters in Hong Kong defied a ban on demonstrations today and took to the streets by the thousands. Clashes between protesters and police intensified as the day went on. Late Saturday night, police were seen hitting protesters and using pepper spray inside a subway station. Earlier in the evening, police fired tear gas and water cannon to disperse the crowds. Protesters responded with rocks, bricks, Molotov cocktails, and a bonfire outside police headquarters. The pro-democracy demonstrations have taken place in Hong Kong for more than 2 months. TV star Valerie Harper has passed away. She was best known for her lovable role of Rhoda Morgenstern. The Mary Tyler Moore Show actor died at the age of 80 yesterday after battling cancer. Yelena Adzik has this look at her career.
Born in New York in 1939, Valerie Harper didn't come from a showbiz family. Her father was a lighting salesman, and her mother, who was born in Canada, by the way, trained as a nurse. But that didn't stop the TV and Broadway star from following in her own path as a performer. No question, Harper is best remembered for her wisecracking role as Rhoda Morgenstern on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. That was from the early to mid-70s, and then again in its spin-off, Rhoda, from the mid to late 70s. With it, she redefined how women were portrayed on the screen. Rhoda always spoke her mind. She was strong-willed and funny.
You're really a pretty hard person to dislike. I know what you mean. I'm having a hard time hating you, too.
She won 4 Emmys related to that role, which continued in various incarnations into the 80s. In her later career, Harper returned to where she began, life on Broadway. But she also guest starred in a lot of popular TV shows like Desperate Housewives, The Simpsons, Two Broke Girls, and Sex and the City. Here she is opposite Sarah Jessica Parker. But many felt most inspired when she appeared on Dancing with the Stars in 2013. Now, that was the same year she was diagnosed with a rare form of brain-related cancer. And this was all after having already battled lung cancer just a few years before that. Show host Tom Bergeron tweeted that she lit up the ballroom. And actress Marlee Matlin shared that even when she was down, she danced, and she showed the world that she refused to let cancer beat her. Now Rhoda Florida is with Mary in heaven. Rest in peace. You were the epitome of strength and humor. So despite being told that she would only have 3 months to live back in 2013, Valerie Harper danced on for years until her death yesterday morning, 8 days after her 80th birthday. Yelena Adzik, CBC News, Toronto.
These cyclists took on the challenge of biking all the way from Hamilton to Toronto, all to support an 11-year-old boy. That story after the break. We have an update on the breaking news out of West Texas tonight. Police say around 20 people have been shot in the nearby cities of Odessa and Midland. According to the mayor of Midland, an active shooter has been shot and killed in Odessa. Police say there is no active shooter at this time. You can go to cbcnews.ca for the latest on this story. Well, back to our local news coverage now. A group of amateur cyclists rode all the way from Stony Creek, Hamilton, to the base of the CN Tower in honor of the organization War Amps, as well as 11-year-old Dylan.
Years ago, we had an idea to ride to Toronto, and A lot of things came together this year, and then my daughter suggested doing it for War Amps, or her brother Dylan. And so, yeah, so the whole thing came about. We decided this weekend was the perfect weekend to do it.
When Dylan was 9 months old, he developed bacterial meningitis. The lack of blood flow to his limbs resulted in the loss of his left leg below the knee, his right foot, and part of his right hand. The bike ride today helped raise money for War Amps. The organization provided Dylan with artificial legs. Well, let's check in with Kelly Sonnenberg again and everybody watching Hurricane Dorian. Kelly.
Well, Maribel, as we take a look at the latest satellite imagery, a very well-defined eye on Dorian, suggesting that it's a very strong and dangerous hurricane right now. Category 4 in strength, wind speeds of 240 kilometers an hour. 252 is what we need to get to for a Category 5 hurricane. And there are suggestions that it could possibly be strengthening over the next day or so. Latest update from the National Weather Service. Tropical storm watches issued for parts of the east coast of Florida, including West Palm Beach. When we take a look at the track of Dorian, you've probably seen that there have been some changes in the track, and it does look like it is going to start to recurve. That doesn't mean we're completely ruling out a non-landfall of Florida. This is something we're going to still closely monitor, but what we do know is that Dorian is going to sit over the Bahamas for the next 24 to 36 hours. That could be dumping close to 500 millimeters of rain. Well, for us here at home and through the GTA, not worrying about rainfall. At least as we head through basically Saturday overnight into Sunday afternoon, variable skies. We do have a boundary that's going to be moving through, so there is going to be the very slight chance for seeing a few isolated showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two as we head through the day. So these showers will become a little bit more numerous as we head through Monday afternoon and evening. So if you're planning on checking out the air show or going to the CNE, just check that forecast, because there is the very slightest chance for seeing some showers. Quick look at our holiday Monday, and we do have the chance for showers and thunderstorms once again.
All right, Kelly, thank you. And that's our show for you tonight. Thank you for watching. As we go, we'll leave you with some sights and sounds of Busker Fest at Woodbine Park today. This is the event's 20th anniversary. Have a great evening, everyone.